All right, team. Short and sharp here just before the second game of the week, but a little bit of a shout out to all of you guys that picked up Starling. I did us all a favour, knowing my hooker luck this year. Of course, I didn't jump on and he scored incredibly well. And he's one of those top players at the moment in the position. He's a 57 average across the last 3 games. Absolutely incredible. And you can thank me for not jumping on basically with my hooker luck this year to begin the game with a 4 tackle break offload run, or 3 tackle breaks, and a couple of good runs there at the beginning of the game anyway, to get him off to sort of 20 odd in like 13 minutes and stuff like that. Just made it really, really tough to peg back. And end up getting the full 80 minutes as well with Danny Levi. So that'll go down as one of my mistakes of the year. There's been a couple of them across the season. A couple of, one happened in the recent history with the Colin Matangi and White and these types of guys, and a couple others, which we'll note down at the back end of the season as obviously some things to learn from and some risks that weren't taken as well. So the temptation of picking up so many guns this week, overrode that of picking up a cheaper guy that can score just as good as these guns. So also wanted to, just before we get into this game here, just note Trey Fuller. He will be leaving my side officially. So thank you for your service, Trey. You've been incredible in the time that Hamiso hasn't been there. Okay, the good thing of this game for my side was the fact, well, not my side anyway, for my life, was the fact that I did tip the Raiders. And Chanel, I'm so sorry that you missed that kick for your sake and for your team's sake, but it helped me out. That was a tough miss. That was a very, very tough miss. But Hudson Young there with a 92 was absolutely incredible. A 2-try effort for him. 47 tackles there, 2 offloads, and just a tick under 100 metres. So a cracking effort from him. A little bit under a 50 average he was before this game, and he's now eclipsed that mark very, very easily. Aden Fanua Blake with a 76 in his 69 minutes. He was terrific, especially in that second half. He only had sort of 40 odd metres. Raiders had plenty of ball in that first stint for him, in that first half anyway. He only went off for 11 minutes, but ended up with 200 metres gained, 4 tackle breaks and offload, 36 tackles, which is a good number there, and that try that we've been missing from him from a little bit. So if you did jump on this week, a 683k, you've got an absolute steal and a cracking one. So it was missing out on Fanua Blake, Egan, Barnett, obviously Starling and Foggy, and Dylan Walker, and Joe Tarpany, all guys I kind of mentioned throughout the week. Walker kind of exceeding expectations there as well with a line break try assist there in that one too. But Aden, still a really good pick into next week as well. They do play the Tigers next week, so maybe a try for him. And Wade Egan coming back from the dirt into the clouds here with a terrific 72 in 80 minutes. One of his best scores of his career, really. He's sort of been a guy that could hit the 60s on occasion, but definitely not the 72 range, and only 2 missed tackles out of 58 made, which is a very, very good effort. At 460k, congrats to anyone who has held through the pain. I think Matty Thompson there, who hopefully we'll get on next week. I think he's held through that pain there for sure. Mitch Barnett with a 67 in 73 minutes. He continues to do incredible work. 4 missed tackles, 2 errors, but still 57 in base stats to go along with his tackle breaks offload and the try there. Just a bulldozing run down the short side, so good stuff from him. Spoke about Starling there, just continues to do cracking work there, 55 tackles. And with Levi on the bench, if things stay the same next week, I think we have to select him. He'll be like 420, 430, somewhere there at least. And I think that, I'll definitely have to do a downgrade, upgrade. I've got weeks, and thankfully I looped him, but he might be the movement piece to get to Starling next week. Jamal Fogarty, like he never left, 28 tackles, 2 misses. Did have a couple of errors in there, unfortunately, and 579 kick meters. Incredible work that was again from him. As a good tackle numbers, picked up that try assist for Hudson Young and got back into the goals. And it isn't a shock that Fogarty comes back and they get another win on the park. So good stuff there. Walker with good base stats as well with 59. Joe Tarpany with 56 minutes and 58 points. So a couple offloads in there. Really good run meters again. All right, so we did lose Taintua to a picky, unfortunately, in the 8th minute with a head knock, and that put Roger back to fullback. And that try he scored, they basically almost went untouched in a 3-on-3, 4-on-4 kind of, or 4-on-3 effort there. And did it too easy, stepping back on the inside with that try. Obviously 6 tackle breaks and 255 run meters. So he had a cracking game. obviously there. Didn't help, didn't eventually get them over the line, but they got close enough. And they're both pretty flat the whole game, these teams, to be fair. But yeah, 54 for him. He'll end up starting at fullback, you'd imagine, next week as well, which will be helpful for anyone who does still own him. But 454k, he's so cheap now. Didn't even realise he was that low in the end. Chanel at 324 picked up a 52, which was incredible. 448 in the run meters, 21 tackles, 1 miss, and a try assist. So a great game for Chanel and his owners. If you looped him, happy days for you. Picked up a 52 and an easy starting player there. Hosking, 49 and 52 minutes. Welcome back to him. Worked his tail off with the tackle side, 41 for him. That was really, really nice. 3 tackle breaks and offload, 49 run meters. So hopefully that'll get up in the next bunch of weeks. And if he gets a little bit cheaper and gets a starting spot at some point through injury, then he'll be a cracking one to have for the back end as well. Morgan Smithies with 44 in 63 minutes. Just no negatives for him, which was helpful. Jordy Rapiner on the wing there with a 41 with that try assist from dummy half, which worked out really well for him. You got Xavier Savage with a 41 with a try. Considering he's a 294k, he was a really, really good cash out this week that will play for the rest of the season. And the big thing is for him and the Raiders there is the fact that he's going to be playing every game, and the Raiders are going to be improved with Fogarty back and with Zach Hosting back as well. So Savage, a really solid little 300k fella to pop into your squad there. Papali'i with a 40 and 48 was solid. K-Well with a try. Matt Timoko down at 462 with a 37. Pretty solid at that without being spectacular. So if you bought him, not the worst in the world. And you won't be complaining too hard on that one. Mariota, Mooney, and Chris, all 34, 31, and 30. Nothing of too much interest there. And what about the fall from Jackson Ford here? 28 in 72 minutes. He did come on when Tuapiki ended up getting the head knock with 38 tackles, 7 misses, a penalty, and 2 errors. He was a very important player for them at the beginning of the season, scoring lots of tries, really good tackle numbers, and he's moved to the middle and playing all different roles now, and he's just hasn't been as effective, unfortunately, along with the rest of the team. Ethan Strange with the 27 in 80 minutes. Kind of lucky he ended up having that line break. A few tackle breaks, good run meters, obviously, in that run, but then had an error at the back end of it, so pretty tough there. And you end up getting Elliot Whitehead for 47 minutes there. So his days of keeper status, I think, with Hosking back, are probably going to be he's not going to be as important, I don't think, as he was, and how well he was scoring there. Radon Niukure just continues to have a really low PPM, so don't go near him there. I don't know if all of these stats are actually updated there, because weeks on the NRL app is up to a 29, but I was looping him. I won't be taking that score. A lovely little try assist there off the boot, and 5 tackle breaks, 120 run meters. If we're getting that on a regular basis with a couple of negatives, it's probably not going to be good enough at 600k, and he'll be someone I look to move on. And then Tamati Martin, if you have him, he got 23 in the 80 minutes in this one, not doing the majority of the kicking there with Chanel taking that on, which makes it pretty tough for him to do really, really well. And if they aren't winning by sort of 20 and 30 points, he's not going to get a heap of tackle break, heaps of try assists and tries himself on that one, which makes it a little bit tough. Pompey went off with a knee injury, I believe, at halftime, which brought Adam Fanua-Blake straight back on, I believe. So there you go. Lea Ta'ua with 21. Not much happening for him. 9 tackles, 94 meters run. No attacking stats, which he got in that first game. So if you did jump on, you're a little bit annoyed. And similar to that with Halasima, with 17 in 48 minutes. Obviously, he had to come on with some injuries to guys in the back line, which just brought down his output. Obviously, 10 tackles for 2 misses and 95 run meters. So if you grabbed him, probably still means he's going to be in this team on the bench, at least somewhat, with all these injuries that are happening. But what kind of good minutes is he going to get? Or is he just, if there's an injury, he goes straight into the back line as well. And then Dallin Waitini-Zelezniak with 10 in 80 minutes. He's had a massive fall from grace after scoring 40-odd a game last year. Now down to a 33.6 average, and he'll keep going lower, down to the 370s, 380 range. And then you had Freddie Lussick with 6 minutes for -1, and Tane Tuapiki with 9 minutes for -4. So pretty tough one there. 5 run meters. We had one missed tackle and 1 error for him. That was his game. So a tough night out for Tane. I hope he's okay. And yeah, not too much more to add here for this game. Obviously, we do have 3 coming up one at 3 p.m, being the South and the Tigers. So I'm going to lock in my Colin and Jack Whiten trades, and hopefully they go really well. And we've got the Knights and the Broncos, Storm and the Roosters to finish off Saturday, and then 3 games tomorrow. So much footy across the next 2 days to digest. I wish you guys all the best of luck for those 6 games, and hopefully we can make some ranks.